Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, we're talking about the power of symbols. So, as every good influencer knows, if you don't have a community, you're not really an influencer, right? Like if you don't have people watching you, if they don't have people coming back to you time and time again, you're not really an influencer. You're just somebody who puts out content. So how do you get those people? How do you get them coming back over and over again? So I actually have a process for this that I work with my clients, and it's not necessarily what I wanted to talk about in this episode. I want to talk about symbols, but I'm going to quickly go through that process. So the first step is indoctrination. You need to bring people on board and get them to understand who you are and what your culture is all about. Second thing you got to do is you got to get them to make some sort of commitment to you, whether that's by following you, subscribing to you, purchasing from you. You got to get someone to take an action. Once they've taken an action, you then get them to, what's the third? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's you. They have to consume more. That's it. You have to consume more of your content. So that means that you have to be putting out more content. And I know content creators who put out something like once a month, and that's freaking awesome if they're able to get their numbers right. One of my early guests, Tara Mantis, had something like 500,000 follower or subscribers on YouTube, if I recall, and he put out a video a month, like one video a month, and he would still get millions of views, and he was getting paid like $10,000 plus to make this video, not necessarily from YouTube, like it was essentially sponsored videos, and he was making bank making one video a month, and he got the videos, the video views. And that was largely because one, he had the audience, and so they knew what he put out was high quality, but two, he put out content that people wanted to watch. Okay, not just his audience, but everybody else wanted to watch too. So it's not just about putting content out there. Like, look, this video right here, I'm fairly certain I'm going to get maybe 30 to 50, 100 people max. Give it enough time, this video might get some more views, but this video doesn't get very far. My interviews, when I have people on my show, those get 1,000 to 2,000 views each on Facebook. Everywhere else, not so good. But on Facebook, I get a ton of views, and that's because people are watching it. Go figure. So that's step 3. Step 4 is you have to get them to it sounds sketchy, but you have to get them to make further commitments. You have to increase the amount that they're buying from you. Okay. And this is more about what this episode is talking about. Okay. And then step 5 is they have to become an evangelist for your brand. Okay. So 1, indoctrination; 2, commitment; 3, consumption; 4 is purchases; and then 5 is evangelism. Okay. So we're really talking about step 4 here, the power of symbols and symbology. So a community, if you think about a community like a tribe, okay, actually try to rewind the clock in your head and see yourself in a tribe around a campfire, long time ago, when you were all wearing mammoth wool and whatever. And how did those groups stay together? Okay, well, if it was really just about protection, if it was really just about food, people would have realized, I can go off and kill something by myself, and I'd be able to feed my family kind of faster than this. The wife can take care of everything, or the spouse, or whatever. And so it wasn't necessarily just the resources that kept people together. There had to have been some sort of common culture that tied these people together. They kind of agreed on a certain lifestyle. They agreed on acting a certain way and treating people a certain way, and doing things a certain way. Okay, now let's fast forward back into the future. That's what your community is. And it's vital that you have certain symbols or catchphrases or activities, memes, he's memeing hard, right? Things that your community is able to bond over and is able to understand that they are part of the in group, the in tribe. And then there's the out group, the people who are not in the tribe. Okay. And this barrier between people who are in and people who are out is absolutely fundamental toward creating any sort of corporate culture whatsoever. People have to understand that they are special by being a part of this because they understand the symbology or symbolism. I need to go watch Boondock Saints again to understand which it is. One of the two. It's the symbols that get people to be part of that group. Okay. If they don't have that, if you're just putting out the content, you're going to get people to watch you. Yes. You might get people to enjoy you, but there's nothing, there's no common thread running through what you're doing. There's nothing that makes people want to keep coming back because they see themselves as part of your community. Okay. And so you start considering what kinds of symbols you want to put out. The easiest are catchphrases and memes. So easy. So, pictures, maybe you have an actual symbol, some sort of logo, right? I'm getting ready. I've put it out a little bit here and there. No one's really noticed. No one's really mentioned it. But I actually have like not a caricature. I have a logo symbol thing. I've got a character that will soon be representing my brand to some extent, and I'm really excited about it because I think it's going to take the focus off of me. And admittedly, I'm a tall, skinny white dude from the United States, right? And so someone who's not a tall, skinny white dude from the United States who sees me might not have the same kind of connection what they would have with another person. I'm not even going to begin to try to describe another person because I don't want to get in trouble. So that's the point, though. Like, people who are similar to you are more likely to like you, and it's just kind of how it goes. Okay. Demographics, I talk about demographics all the time. If you can figure out somebody's demographics, you can find ways to market to them and sell to them because certain people do act certain ways. I'm not saying it's based on race, it is simply a factor. Okay. The other thing is psychographics. Okay, demographics are the physical makeup of someone. If you can measure it, if you could look at it and see them, that's a demographic. The psychographics are what's going on in their heads. All right, that's probably a little too much for this one. So symbols. Okay, what symbols do you have? If you have a logo for your channel, but like that's just the logo, it's the picture you put up. But you have nothing beyond that. Like if that logo doesn't if it isn't part of the community, then you don't really have that symbol. It's just a picture that represents your channel. Okay. If you can get that picture involved in what you're doing, like a great example, Dr. Disrespect, right? Dr. Disrespect, he's got the stash, he's got the sunglasses, the hair, headband sometimes, right? It's been a while since I've watched Dr. Disrespect. He's got an image. Okay. When you see his picture, you're like, that's Dr. Disrespect. And like the content he puts out, he's putting out the symbol, which is the character that he's playing. That's not him. Like in real life, he's probably like a shy, awkward person, just like everybody else in this space. That's also not true. Not everybody's shy and awkward. The point is, though, he created a character that people could rally around. So maybe something that could help you grow an audience or grow your brand, your business, is to create a character that people can rally around. Think of like CocaCola. CocaCola has the Christmas polar bears, right? The Christmas polar bears are something that they sell a ton of merchandise on. And it's when you see the polar bears and they've got their scarves and they're cracking open a Coke, that's something that you associate some amount of symbolism to. I think it's symbolism, not symbology. It's symbolism. And so you associate certain traits like, oh, a Coke is cold. It's something that, it's refreshing, even though it might still be cold outside, because they run these during Christmas time and the winter months. Okay. So the symbol tells the audience, the customer, something, and the customer interprets that and then makes purchasing decisions based on those symbols. Okay. So if you're going to try to grow your following, your audience, your brand, your company, you need symbols that people can latch onto and associate meaning to, that they can then pull back and make buying decisions or purchasing decisions or conversion decisions, whether, they're just watching your stuff. But if you don't have that, you're not going to get the customer acquisition. Okay. So that's what I want to talk about today. it seemed a little complicated. Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody who actually watched this. Again, like I say, almost nobody watches these. So if you watch this, rock on. You are doing fantastic. You're part of my tribe. You're part of me. If you guys actually do watch this, hashtag part of the tribe down below. I just threw that out there. I just made that one up. Let's see if we can have how many I get. Okay. I'm going to remind you all, organization is the enemy of sloth. This isn't something that you just throw out there like a hashtag I just made up off the top of my head. Spend some time, because your symbols have to be long-term. This isn't something you just throw out there. That one sucked. Throw out there. That one sucked. Throw out there. That one sucked. I mean, that's one strategy. And what'll happen is you're going to confuse the heck out of your audience if you do that, because they're like, I related to this one and you got rid of it. And I didn't relate to this one. So I'm not sure I want to be part of your tribe anymore, but I related to this one. And like, you got rid of that one too. Like, you don't really seem to understand me, and they may leave. Right. So you have to really put some time into this. Figure out who your customer avatar is. Who is the person that you're putting your content in front of, whether it's products, services, or actual content. Okay. Doesn't matter what business you're in. It's all the same. You have to understand that. If you've been watching my content at all, it doesn't matter what type of business you're in. Okay, it doesn't matter one bit. If you're a content creator or a streamer, it applies the same as a Fortune 500 company. Okay, just understand it's the same stuff all the way up. You have to figure out what your customer is, or who your viewer is, your audience is. Once you have that, you can create symbols that relate to them. And you can do market testing. I would do market testing first. Like, hey, everybody, this is something I'm thinking of doing. What do you think of it? And then let people tell you. If they don't like it, don't do it. If they do like it, consider it. And then create a couple. And then, when you got a couple that you consider, put them in front of everybody and like, here's like the finalists. What do you all think? And then have them vote. Okay. Because they're going to tell you what they like. Better yet, if you can like sell merchandise. Hey, I've made 3 t-shirts with our 3 new like mascot logos. I'm going to let your wallets decide. And then, option A is clearly the winner because everybody bought that one, none of the others. It's probably the one you want to go with. So figure that out and then start promoting that culture, that tribe. You really got to like hammer that in, get people to understand they're part of the group. Okay. And hate on other groups. Let other people know that, you're part of my group, not their groups. Their groups are suck because of these reasons. And if you can give people a reason not to go off and watch somebody else, not to go off and purchase from somebody else, they're going to come back just to you. Beautiful. All right. That's what I got for you all today. Don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur.